Swamp Things, a podcast revisiting legendary runs. There is a mind that haunts the foliage of the world. It began in the confusion of elementals, stumbling through myriad muck-encrusted lifespans. It was fulfilled in a Brazilian rainforest where one by one they came, carrying what wisdom they'd earned, to mingle their roots with their ancestors and join the mind. The mind inhabits the green dimension where all the flowers and stalks meditate in arboreal nirvana. But the wood is in turmoil. Four have been limbed from the mind: fertility, Bog Venus; industry, Kettlehole Devil; alienation, St. Columba; and realization, ghost hiding in the rushes. The sacred line of succession has been broken by a renegade who wields a devastating unknown power. And there is a hideous foreboding in the mind that haunts the foliage of the world. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Swamp Things, a podcast where we'll be retracing classic Swamp Thing runs from beginning to end. In this, our third season, we're retracing Rick Veitch's run following Alan Moore, a run that is still ongoing, as case may be. I'm Robert Reineke. I read these books during their initial run, including the conclusion of his run in a comic shop near you right now. Brings me to our guest host for this stretch, Matt Gamble. Matt and I go back over a decade at WhereTheLongTailEnds.com, and I was pleased when he said yes to a co-hosting stint for the next stretch of Rick Veitch's run when I asked him. So, Matt, how are you doing?
I'm doing.
Before?
I'm doing great. I had not read these before. We go back way more than Where the Long Tail Ends. Like, we should talk about the Brewers. let's drop our.
The golden age of the Brewers.
Yeah. Well, we were there for the. I don't know if that was the first golden age, but like.
No, we're in the golden age now.
Now, yeah. I mean, Ricky Weeks, Prince Fielder, all those guys. I mean, we've known each other. Oh my God, is it 30 years?
Yeah, at least 20.
Yeah, it's in our obscure minor league baseball Brewers minor league baseball fandom is how we met. And yeah, finally 20 years later, we are enjoying the fruits of that labor. But yeah, I had not read these when they came out. As I told you before the show, I was not a DC kid. I was a Marvel kid. So a lot of the DC stuff I read was not until late 90s, 2000s when I got deep into Vertigo and then kind of went from there. I certainly read like some of the big books. Like I read Dark Knight Returns, Killing Joke, like, you know, the big Batman books at least. But
everybody read those.
Yeah. I mean, who didn't? But like, I mean, I don't even think I read Alan Moore's run on Swamp Thing till the 2000s. I mean, I'd certainly been a fan of Alan Moore prior to that. And then the idea of him and Swamp Thing sounded super cool. Went back and, you know, found the trades for those and read those books. And it's certainly incredible. And I was super excited that, I mean, I didn't even know, I am a fan of Rick Veitch. I didn't realize he wrote Swamp Thing as well. So I was super excited at the opportunity of reading his Swamp Thing. I think he's you know, for people that know his style and especially not his artwork style and his writing style, he is a good fit, even though he is very different from Moore.
Yes.
And I have had the time of my life reading his run, or at least the start of his run. And I think yeah, these have been really fun books to read.
Yeah, and we'll get more onto that.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, maybe because it is the big news, but do we have any thoughts on Swamp Thing 1989 number one? Did you pick that up? I know I did.
I did not. I should. Um, but yeah, I haven't read it yet. I mean, that's his Veitch. What is it exactly? Isn't it Veitch's like final issues or something like that, or is
Yeah,
that
his
the?
final four issues
Yeah,
picked up where would have been 88, 89, 90, and 91, I guess.
yeah. Um, no, but I do have a pre-order. I have the first two trades that they've released of his run, and I have the pre-order for the third trade that I think comes out in September. Um, but I should pick up the others. Like I've been having such fun reading these. Um, so yeah, it is foolish that I have not yet. Um,
But I'll say I loved it, but it is what he wrote back in 1989, and the synopsis was floating out there when it was all pulled on him. So no
yeah,
surprises in there, but it was fun to finally see that one come to life. The good guys won for a change.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's got to be up there with whatever it was, Planetary 27 that took like 15 years to publish. We were like that was. I remember the day Warren Ellis like posted to his website like I just got a fax of the pages of art from I think it's Cassidy. I think it's who's the artist or something like
I
that.
think was it
Uh,
Cassidy and Hitch
yeah, I can't
or
remember.
yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean that thing had been sitting out there for like 15 years and he just published like, yeah, they just showed up fax to my house. Like this will be in print in like 2-3 months. And everybody was like, what is going on? That is wild.
It's we finally got Twin Peaks season three.
Yeah, it was just like, yeah, that's just the way it worked back then. Every once in a while, like it's something crazy like that happens 20 years down the line where somebody's like, yeah, we should maybe do this thing that we were planning on ending. Um,
Good thing it's finally going to draw that 1963 conclusion.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath for that.
What is it? What the Duke Nukem game that's been waiting forever?
This could be.
I think that's been like 20 like there's all these weird little things in pop culture. Like if you get in the right niche, you'll find like, no, everybody's been waiting 30 years for this to be released.
Baseballs too.
Yep, exactly.
Another thing that was not on my bingo card.
Yep. I mean, we got Spinal Tap too out of nowhere.
They finally got the rights back.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, but
Yeah, well, yeah, it's too bad I mean, they were all kind of past their prime by that point, but it
I
was
guess we
still,
have a third one coming though.
oh God.
They're doing a tap at Stonehenge, I guess. They've already filmed that.
I mean,
So I
that'll be
guess that'll be Rob Reiner's final film.
yeah, I mean, did he actually film it?
Yes, he actually shot that.
Oh my God. That may make some money. That
You know, I will say the end continues is not a patch on the original, but was
yeah.
funnier than I thought it would be. So
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Like it's not, I mean, nothing's gonna be Spinal Tap. I don't know. That's a hard movie to follow up on, but
yes,
it certainly wasn't awful. Like it was perfectly fine.
no, perfectly fine, which is a victory in and of itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, let's get started then. The opening reading from Swamp Thing number 72 was read by myself. I have some readers lined up for future episodes. So if any of our listeners would like to do readings, please send me an email. Um, a little bit on background on what came before. Before we get into this issue, I mean, you've probably been here by now. I don't know why you would start on this episode, but uh, here's what's been going on. Swamp Thing and John Constantine are uneasily working together to find a host for the elemental sprout that's supposed to replace Swamp Thing so they can retire with Abby. But things are not going to plan, and the Parliament of Trees is not at all pleased. I'm missing anything there?
No, I mean the only other thing, like the Parliament of Trees is actively working against Swamp Thing, which I think is pretty great.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, I did not see that coming. Usually they're above that thing, or at least when
yep,
Alan Moore likes it.
yep, yeah. It's a nice little twist. Like there's a lot of
Yes.
there's a lot of fun stuff Veitch is doing, and that is certainly one of them. Um, and that's been ongoing for like the last 4 or 5 issues. Basically, has been that
Yes.
battle back and forth between the
Mhm.
Parliament and Swamp Thing.
And that brings us to the latest issue, Swamp Thing number 72. Well, the latest being relative. Episode of the podcast, number 72, entitled Gargles in the Rat Race Choir, with a cover date of May 1988. I have to say, Gargles in the Rat Race Choir is a hell of a title
Yep,
of an issue.
yep.
Um, the Grand Comics database lists the publication date of January 26, 1988. There's a suggested for mature readers sticker on the cover, and the price is $1.25. Those were the days.
Yeah, yeah.
Rick Veitch and Tom Yates did the cover. The cover features a Burning Man standing before a giant face of Swamp Thing in the form of a tree. The logo covers Swamp Thing's mouth. Surprisingly, the logo is reflected in the water of the swamp at the bottom of the cover. So, thoughts on the cover?
Oh, it's fantastic. Um, it's, I mean, I am a big fan of Veitch's pencils. I think they're great. They're very chaotic, but it's a controlled chaos. Um,
Okay.
and this is something that is shown off like the the entire thing of like his entire face, the Swamp Thing's face is just fantastic. It's filled with detail on top of the Burning Man standing, off to the left, off center left,
Mm-hmm.
facing him. And I just think it looks awesome. Like it's so good. It's one of my favorite covers of this early start of his run. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's still early.
yeah, I mean it's only like
We're at episode 9, so.
yeah, it's early into the run, and I just think that like, and I'll certainly spoil it. I think this issue is incredible. I think it's the best issue so far in his run. Um, and I'd been telling you before we were recording, this is the first issue where I really feel Veitch makes it his own comic and isn't playing in Moore's shadow. Like this is playing to his strengths. And a lot of that is because he's writing and penciling this, because I don't think a lot of other writers would have the balls to do what they would be asking of a penciler in this book. Um, and Veitch
You have to have
is
some mighty big ones, anyhow.
yeah, Veitch is doing it himself, so I think that's very much it goes a long way to pulling it off because he does two different really cool things uh that essentially for the entire book. Um and we'll get into that shortly. But yeah, the cover
Yeah.
is incredible.
Okay. Well, I agree. Um, let's go on with the credits here. The interior credits include the script is by Rick Veitch, the pencils are by Rick Veitch, the inks are by Alfredo Alcala, it's edited by Karen Berger, colors are by Tatjana Wood, and the letters are by John Costanza. So pretty much a Hall of Fame credits list.
Yeah. Yeah, these are I mean Karen Berger I can't speak highly enough about. She is so important to American comic books. It's especially from the 90s on. I don't know if there's a more important person in comics at that time. Alan Moore is certainly um a giant in this. system, but Karen Berger is responsible for so many great comics, so many great um,
Yeah.
books, and is essentially responsible for Vertigo, which I think is the greatest uh, you know,
Imprint.
imprint that's ever been done. Like it's, and I don't
Yeah.
think it's close. I just don't even think it's close.
I don't think it, no, I don't even think it's close either.
And yeah, and
So,
this is the precursor to it, and like yeah, and
yeah,
Alcala's inks are
we're not,
fantastic. Sorry.
yeah, they are. Um, so I'll open it up and we can start working our way through the issue here.
Yep.
Page one. I mean, you heard page one of the reading to open the show. Um, the pile of trees are mad about their missing members. That Swamp Thing turned the tables on. So
Yeah.
that is page one. But we get to see the Parliament of Trees and all their kind of misshapen glory. I don't
Yep.
even know if misshapen, oddity, whatever it is, it's something. And they have see the husks of the four missing members down at the bottom of the page there. And I'm looking at the top and I don't see Man Thing there, so I guess they resisted the urge for an issue, or Rick
Yes.
resisted the urge. And maybe Jared said, maybe knock it off.
Yeah, and I mean it's the first time where like there's some serious emotion being shown by the Parliament. Like they are angry, which is
Hmm.
pretty interesting. And like I would also say like this first page is kind of the only like standard looking page for the rest of the book. It's two panels, pretty standard with the text starting at the top, moving to the bottom, and that's it. Um, and then after this, Veitch starts showing off. But even still, like his pencils in this are great. Like I think he's turned the Parliament almost like demonic to a degree, with their
Yeah,
rage. And it's a really cool intro of like showing what Swamp Thing has done, and
yes.
what he now has to account for, and like
This is
yeah.
one side.
Yep.
And then we turn the page, and then we have, like, I guess there's probably like two main things, layout things that Rick Veitch is doing this issue. And we
Yep.
have this first Veitch page where you have like a vertical column down the left side with Constantine, and then you have Abby and Swamp Thing taking up the rest of the two-page spread.
Yeah, it's like three quarters devoted to one storyline, and then a quarter of the two-page spread devoted to another storyline. And what I think is really interesting that he does is he's playing with time when he's doing this throughout the book. Like the three quarters is always devoted to like a very singular scene that's progressing throughout the book, while the other quarter is kind of jumping through time, and showing what Constantine is doing. Um, and how he's moving around. While I don't like essentially the Swamp Thing portion is one single scene um
Yes.
throughout the book, while Constantine is moving around visiting different people. It's really ambitious and really cool. It took me a second to figure it out, but like it was like once I did, I was like, oh, I'm into this. This is very
Yeah.
neat.
It's very neat. And, like, I mean, the first, I mean, I like seeing Brenda again, so I think
Yeah.
Brenda is a Rick Veitch creation. Okay, I don't think she ever showed up in Hellblazer, but
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was never a huge Hellblazer fan. I would certainly read it here and there. I always loved John's appearances whenever he randomly showed up in any shows up in a lot of Vertigo books randomly. He's a great character to just drop in for some hellish fun for an issue or two. Um, and like he's a great straight man to I mean, I think Swamp Thing is really more the straight man in this
yes,
duo, but he's such a great play off of Swamp Thing. I really,
he'll
really
kick
like
the
it.
piss out of anybody.
Yeah, yeah.
But
And I I also say this is one of the more interesting, I mean, appearances of Swamp where like he like grows out of the ground and envelops her.
Yes.
It's very sexual, as most of the Veitch books to date have been, and like it's really really gutsy.
They're the horniest couple in comics, I think.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of human on plant sex in these books. Um, like they are in full coitus almost this entire issue. Um, and so yeah, that is a way to start with a bang, literally.
Pardon the pun.
Yep.
I mean, I like even with the Brenda, I like the it's best for you to stay in bed.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, it is kind of shocking considering how sexless comic book movies are these days and how
Yeah.
sexy the book is.
Well, and I would argue at 87, like as I said, I'm a Marvel kid. There wasn't sex in Marvel books in the 80s. Like this is a big deal. And like
Yes.
he's they've had a sex scene in almost every issue leading up to this. Like he is not hiding, like their love is certainly heavily driven by their physical attraction to one another. Um
Yeah.
and yeah, like this is a like this book does not hold back, and this issue certainly isn't either. It's starting right from the beginning.
Yeah, even with their kind of orchid looking house there.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll turn the page here. I mean, it's more building out, and then the kind of Constantine stuff flips to the right side of the spread.
Yep. And I think that's kind of how it
So,
holds for the rest of it. The other thing that's really interesting is the Constantine is, at least in the trade, I don't know if it's in the actual comic or in the floppy, but like they outlined it his portion in black, while Swamp Thing's in white, and it looks really cool in the trade. It works really well. Um,
it's black in the original.
Okay, that's awesome. Like, I think that's a super smart idea to not like, the standard way of reading these panels is, you'd
Mhm.
start on the left page, read across, drop down and read across, and that's not how you're supposed to read these. You're supposed to actually go across the seam and read the next panel and then drop down. So like you have to change up your entire style of reading, and then after you can read either one how it is. You can read the Swamp Thing portion, and then you're reading just straight down on the Constantine. It just is when you read a lot of comics, you just reflexively can just fall into that style of like, here's how I'm supposed to read, and this comic is like, no, you have to read this differently. And it forces you to like rethink how to read comics. And then this isn't even the showiest thing that he's about to do, but he does
No.
this for like the first half. He's like literally like rewiring your brain, to be like, no, you have to read this comic differently than you normally would. You can't just default here. You have to actually actively engage with it, which is, I think, something like, I think that is very much a Veitch kind of stylism. He likes to push boundaries. He likes to challenge, um, and he's doing it this way in a visual narrative, which is really really cool.
hmm and within the content themselves, I think there's a couple things here that I find it interesting. I mean, they bring up Chernobyl here, and Chernobyl
Yeah,
was less than 2 years old at that point.
yeah. There's also like leading up to this, there's like two Reagan jokes in here. Like they rip on Reagan for AIDS, which would have been like 85, 86, like when no one's talking about, like there's some crazy stuff he does with some of his references.
hmm
Um like that are ballsy as hell. Because this is like
I don't know.
right. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
I don't know if Chernobyl is ballsy, but
No. Yeah, but even still, like talking about it is certainly like it's an
it's aged
uncomfortableness.
well.
yeah, it's uncomfortable. He has a reference to Challenger in here in one of
Yeah.
the episodes, like or issues. Like he is certainly doing things to make people uncomfortable. Um,
Mhm.
and I think that's, you know, this is a mainstream book from a mainstream publisher to do that at this time um is really unique. It's just not like to call out pop culture basically as it's happening. I mean, that's what Brat Pack essentially will be in 5-ish years. Um, like it's
Mhm.
like I think that's a really strong testament to like what he likes to do. He does the same thing with the one that would have come out a few years before this. Like that is his style of writing is like he calls balls and strikes and he doesn't care who he upsets. Which is one of the
No, he
things
does that.
which is one of the things I like about it. Like, and I think it's
Mhm.
why he struggled to find a lot of mainstream success. And which which makes sense. Like DC and Marvel didn't want to rock the boat, and Veitch is all about rocking the boat. Um,
I mean, I feel like he probably was better off working as an independent,
yeah,
self-publishing by himself.
yeah.
And
I mean, I
no,
think
no, nobody's gonna pay you to do Ron Rick Ribbon Fiends.
yeah, I think he's a little bit too early for the time he would have seen great success because I think indies probably didn't really blow up till the 2000s. Um,
Yeah, I think that's about right.
yeah, I think that's like that's when I think of. I mean, Vertigo was well into its heyday by that point, but like that's when indie comics really blew up.
Yeah, I think
Um,
the second phase of Image, once they got over the initial rush of the initial creators, they said, "Oh,
yeah,
you're sticking around doing stuff."
Yeah, and I think that's when, if he would have been a little bit younger, I think he'd probably be considered. I think he'd be far more well known, and probably I think he would be very liked. Like his style is really good. It's a punk rockish feel where he's just gonna go at it. It's just it just indie comics, which is where he really kind of resided after the 90s, just weren't that big for another 10 to 15 years. And by that
Yeah,
point, he would have been in his 50s, I think, somewhere in there.
probably.
Um,
The 70s now, so back her up 20 years. So
yeah. So, and that's just like that's a shame. Like he's a I think he's as far as I know, he's highly respected by his peers. And I
I
think
believe he's being inducted into the Eisner Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah, I think he is, which makes sense. Like I think he's someone like again, like I I mean, I don't love the one. I think the one is a decent book, but like it was pre-Watchmen, it's pre-Dark Knight Returns, and it's doing the same things. Um I think Brat Pack gets compared to um the
The
boys a
boys.
lot, and it's far better than the boys could ever hope to be. Um And, there's plenty of other books that do the same thing after it. The Authority does the same thing.
Mhm.
Planetary does kind of the same thing. Like that, he was kind of ahead of the curve pretty consistently. Um, and so like it's hard to find a lot of his books. Like but if you find them, I can't recommend them enough. Um, he's a fun read. He's a very fun read.
Yeah, and he's certainly into that kind of uh, dream journal, using that as a transition, and you can see how that translates into how he tells a story when he's not doing the dream stuff. But
Yep.
yeah, though I do like the dreams that he does describe here.
Yeah. I think yeah, I mean, he's top of it. He's juggling so many different storylines in the course of this. Um,
Mhm.
I mean,
I
outside
like
of
the idea of um, nuclear reactors defecating on wheat fields.
yeah,
A hell of a phrase to write.
yeah. Well, and then we flip to the next page, and you got the corrupted Swamp Thing, randomly shouting out jingles while it's driving and everyone's losing their minds in the back seat. Like it's a super funny scene, even though but at the same point it's super dark, which I think is like that's his wheelhouse. And on top of it, like this again, the page before is the post-coital sex scene, and like on top of it, you've got Constantine doing his investigation where he's in China somewhere, or he could be in Chinatown. God knows where he is. You never quite are sure where exactly he's showing
He
up.
gets around.
Yeah, and so like everything's like bouncing around, and it's this issue is just challenging. Like, keep the fuck up. I and I think it's great. Like I was like, this is one of those things where I'm just like, I'm all in. Like we're 6 pages in, and I'm like, this is awesome, and he just keeps doing it. Every time you flip it, he's doing it again. He's in a totally new direction that you now have to switch gears and figure out where he is now. Um,
Mhm. I
it's
mean,
just
he's still making some concessions to the audience because he does explain how that they're still driving around after been driving around for days.
but the way he does it is great. Is like, yeah, we're just living off of stale liquor and pretzels, and the other guy has, his toupee's fallen off, his dentures fell out, and now because they're in the crappy shag carpeting of this limo, he won't put them back in, and like, and then you got this, you know, plant beast in the front seat shouting out jingles. Like it's so unhinged. Like if you saw this in a movie or a TV show, it would be insane. Um and like that Swamp Thing has been
Yes.
driving around for 2 or 3 issues at this point. Um
It's going to go for a few more, I believe.
yeah, it's like clearly a running gag at this point. Um and it's just super funny, and it's happening to two people that are awful, so you don't care, which is also part of the joy of that section. Like, he's so good at screwing people that absolutely deserve it, and it makes it very, very fun.
Mhm. I don't know if I get a whole lot out of the acupuncture stuff, but I think there's a couple of lines there that I like. I'm like I don't know if any real foreshadowing there, but the Superior Man stops all action. Is that a Superman reference?
I think so.
And
There's certainly, that's the other thing I'll bring up. Throughout his run, there are certainly DC jokes that are being thrown in here that
yes,
I can recognize are DC jokes, but because I was not a DC kid, I don't know why they're funny. I know he's like taking some shots at DC characters and DC lines.
yeah,
And I like that. Like, he's I mean, none of them are like mean, but it is
yeah,
certainly fun to like play with the world that you're operating in and having some fun with it, and poking some fun at some of these things.
yeah. I mean, Roy Raymond is technically a DC character, was a backup character in the '50s, so
Yeah.
he'll poke at all the fun he wants. Nobody can take offense, but it would be kind of uh unkosher to kind of rip on a character that somebody else is writing at your same company while you're working there.
Yeah.
And I don't think he really crosses that line.
No, I
But
mean, I think he references some certain things. He has a little fun with Batman throughout this, but like a lot of it is tied to the Arkham stuff that's already shown up in his issues.
yeah,
Um and
you
like,
know what? They use Constantine. He pokes fun at Constantine too, or at least
yeah,
he's
but again,
Constantine.
he's writing some Hellblazer issues. I think he's doing annuals for Hellblazer at this time. So like, it's again, Constantine is also a character where like you can poke fun of him. He's a hot mess. Like that is his character.
Yeah,
Um And so I don't think anyone's going to take issue with that. And again, it's just interesting. Like Constantine fires it right back at Swamp Thing a lot of the time.
Yes, he
Um,
does.
so there's plenty. So like anything that is being thrown at Constantine is certainly coming right back at the main character.
I,
Um,
certainly, Constantine lighting up all the time is kind of amusing.
yeah, yeah. The cancer sticks around the voice of the trees. Is is pretty funny. And it's not really ever talked about, but it's just a subtle little like it's a subtle little joke on top of these other like some of he's got more outward jokes, but that is just another added little bonus throughout it.
Yeah. I mean, I probably want to just turn the page here, get back to Swamp Thing and Abby. And,
Yep.
another good page, I like just that one horizontal panel just focused on the eyes. I think is a nice one. And, we get Abby's face, but, it's just Swamp Thing's eyes. And I think it's a good layout. I mean,
Yeah.
the whole thing is a good layout, but it focuses on that and it tells the story and lots of detail here.
100%. And then we've got the kid that I think was introduced the issue before. Is that
I think
um
I think it was 2 issues ago. So yeah,
yeah, but like he's great. I find him very funny. Um like I would read a book with just that kid lecturing Constantine Pine. It's
use whatever you find natural.
yeah, I mean, I always hear it both ways. I know it's Constantine, but I always have like I've heard Constantine so much, it's just always hard to get out of it. Um
I've done it myself, so
yeah.
it's like both are fine.
But like again, this little bit again, he's now moved to an entirely new location, new person who's in his delivery is absolutely lecturing him on how stupid John is. Because
Yeah,
the
you're not
math
gonna
is
work.
yeah, the math is mathing, and the fact you don't believe it doesn't matter. You're dumb if you don't. Like this is how it works. And I don't think a lot of people talk to John like that. And the fact it's a little kid, he's just like, okay. And then he wants to go
Yeah,
back to
oh,
playing.
he can't snap back to him, otherwise nothing can make him leave.
Yeah. I also love the fact he can't really compliment him because he takes every compliment as an insult. He's
Yeah,
such a great little character that barely shows up, and I loved him immediately. Uh, and I think like all the characters that John is interacting with are all ones we've seen in the last couple issues that he's gone to look for other things, and they're doing like this is essentially another last gasp that they're trying to come up with to find. I mean, what is the name of the thing? I can't
uh,
remember. It's
the Sprout, the suitable
the
home for the
Sprout.
Sprout.
Yeah, the Sprout. Find a host body for the Sprout. Um, and so because they've failed multiple times, I think they failed like 3 times already. Um, Something like
Well, at least
that.
once.
Yeah.
The plane flight was a fiasco.
Well, they failed with Solomon Grundy. Then they
Yeah,
failed with the
yeah,
suicide bomber.
yeah. The
Um,
Suicide Bomber. That was always Swamp Thing itself, and then Constantine teamed up and they failed on the flight.
yep,
So, they've had 3 failures,
yep.
and
And they're still going.
they're still
and
going.
and the
It's
parliament,
not so much fun for Constantine where he's not pulling all the strings, is it?
yeah, and the parliament is pissed. With each failure, they get more and more pissed at these two idiots. Uh, and
Get this
it's
over already.
yeah, and it's like no, I think the other thing that I think really is great is like if you did this normally in a comic, you essentially did this. It's essentially the same storyline for like 6 issues in a row, where we try to get the spark in something, we fail, we move on to the next one, and we've done it like 3 or 4 times now, and the delivery is so much different. It's making it so much more fun, and it feels totally different, even though we're doing the same thing. Like we're literally using the same characters we've already used to try and find a new host.
Yes.
Um, and it's so entertaining, even though normally you'd be like, "Are we really doing this again?" Like you're doing the same thing again, and instead you're just, I am so entertained by what's going on. Um,
It goes on that, they may be doing the plot may be the same, but
yeah,
the page layout is different. So
100.
everyone's unique experience.
Yeah, and the page, I think, like, I can't stress enough, I think the change in page layout really is doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Um, because it is completely changing up how you read the book. And so it's, on top of it, like, it's really interesting to do two different scenes at the same time. Like that's really what's happening. Um, and it's just a cool way to do it, and that he has just gone all in for this issue is great. Like I think it's so smart. Um,
It, you can read this run and you have a whole bunch of new ideas on how to tell a story in comics.
exactly. Like I don't know if I've ever seen this before. Um, I'm
Or
sure
I
I
don't know if
ha
I've ever seen it since.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw it on like a single double page somebody do this. I've never seen anyone do it for an issue. Um, it's so great. Like I can't imagine, like, again, Karen Berger is great. Showing this to your editor and being like signing off on it, like I don't think this has ever been done. Like that's a lot of faith in your writer to pull this off. Um,
They must have had some sort of conversation saying,
they
"Yeah,
had
I'm
to
going to do
have.
this."
They
So
had to
don't be
have.
shocked when these pages come in.
Yeah, they had to have, because like if she wouldn't have agreed to it, it would have screwed the release dates. Because you would have had to completely read, like, you, I don't know how you would have to totally change all this up. Like the story is so intrinsically connected to the page layout. I don't know
Hmm.
how you do it without completely blowing it up. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't like whatever deal those two came up with to like let this fly. Like kudos to them for coming up with it, and kudos to Karen for trusting him. Um, like that takes some guts. Like she hadn't been the main editor on this super long. I don't think at this point, a couple of years. Um,
Hmm.
like, and like, again, woman in comics, there weren't a
Like
lot. Like that's
never time.
yeah, like there is some guts in following this, and like it was the right call by both of them, because this is great.
Before we turn the page, one more thing I want to bring up. What do we think about having a Batman the Outsiders comic book in the universe where Batman the Outsiders exists?
I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I think they were certainly referencing with that kid prior, the
Yeah.
Manhunters and the Sentinels,
Yeah.
wasn't it? And that is an actual
Yeah.
issue. I think a Swamp Thing annual issue was that battle, and I am my assumption was that was like a cross title something going on.
Yeah, it was the
Um,
Millennium event. Yeah.
yeah, I mean this is the time in comics when that happened, where everybody's annual was tied to each other as the
Well, I think
summer event.
I think it wasn't even the annual. It's just like we're gonna pop an issue right in the middle of your run there.
Yeah,
Like it or not, figure it out.
yeah, and so like he's already been self-referential to like his own comic he's written. So like I kind of just went with it. Like it was just like, okay, why not? Why wouldn't we? It's I think a lot of other times it would kind of bother me, but I think I'm just kind of at this point I've just bought into the way he's going to tell the story. Um,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't bother me. I just
no.
find it amusing. It's just kind of like, is Swamp Thing part of this universe or is it separate from this universe? It's kind of playing it both ways here, I kind of think.
Yeah,
No,
I
this
would
is really our world, but, or something close to our world, but. You know,
Yeah, I mean it's yeah, I think you could make an argument like he's being a bit meta.
mhm.
And I think that's fine. And I think I don't know if that really happened a lot at this time.
Not at this.
Um,
I mean,
so
Watchmen's kind of meta in itself,
well,
but
yeah, I mean, I think like Watchmen is the only thing I would have thought of at the time. Um, so like I like again, I think that is again just another thing where like he's just ahead of the time. Be like we're still probably 4 or 5 years before Deadpool starts showing up and is
yeah,
just whole hog meta 24/7. So like have it like dropping it in a single panel, it just works as a nice little punchline joke, I think. Um
yeah.
and so again, I
You know,
think like a lot of this comic has surprised me with how funny it is. I don't like it's not a comedic s-
no,
comic by any
it's
means.
satirical, I would say.
Yeah, but like it's yeah, it's but like it's good satire. So like
Yeah.
that makes it actually at times quite funny. Um
Hmm.
and that's kind of what I just chalked it up to. Like it's just him having a little fun.
Yeah.
Um
It is the generic plot too. We said, "Oh, this is the time when Geoforce was thinking of quitting the team."
yeah.
It's like, well, that happens in every superhero comic, team up comic. Yeah, somebody's gonna consider. I mean, I went back and read that issue, and it's like, no, that doesn't happen in this issue, but who cares? But I tend to follow up on those things, and then we'll get back to Abby and Swamp Thing again, and
Yep.
there's some interesting things here too. It's like, guess we realized something new that Swamp Thing can actually let himself be seen when he's basically in an energy astral form,
Yep.
which is I wasn't expecting that.
No. No, they've revealed a lot of different little interesting powers the last couple of issues. Um
I would think that it makes sense if he's like an electromagnetic force more than he is a body. uh, just inhabiting vegetable matter, I guess it makes sense that he can manipulate it. I mean, he clearly can manipulate it.
well, and they made reference to it a few episodes prior where like he entered Abby through like the contents of her stomach where like he
Yes,
was able to like enter her body that way, like in the same way where he can just like project his will and mind into any plant form uh at any time and even down to like the microscopic level. Um and this feels like an extension of that to a degree where he's just like he can just kind of like I don't know. It just he can just sort of like you're right. He's an electromagnetic force um that's being propelled around by like plant matter and that's where he resides. I mean, they also talk about a lot about like clay as well. Which I
yeah,
don't quite understand but like is fascinating. Um but yeah, there's just they're doing a lot of like I mean, I don't know if it'd be metaphysical, but like it's just he's playing a lot with like the scope and range of his powers. Um
he's thinking like, well, Alan Moore set this up. Let's go to the next step.
yeah, yeah. Um I mean, and Alan Moore already came up with just an ingenious line in general of like from the jump, this is not actually a man. It's plants that thinks it's a man. Which just turned everything on its head and ran with it. And now he's all plants at all times,
Yes,
basically. um, which is cool. And like again, it's just sort of like, okay, I think it's a testament to a lot of the work Moore did to make all of this believable enough that at this point Veitch is allowed to just play on the playground. Um, and that's kind of what's happening.
yeah. He is playing on the playground.
Yep.
And what? I do think, I think Abby does play an important role in this story about, getting Swamp Thing not to give up and just uh, give up on the plan. They're still going to continue it.
Yep. I agree. Yeah, I think she's been really important. Like normally I mean, I think the way Veitch looks at Swamp Thing is kind of like Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
And I don't think Moore really looks at it that way. Um, and I think that's a very interesting way of doing it. Like she is very much his muse. Um, and it works really well. I think she's a very like she's not in the comics a ton. She shows up for generally a scene or two. She's in this issue quite a bit, but she is always integral and like helping push him forward. Um, and I think I find it really interesting. Um, I also like I think it at the time this came out, I would have been like, I don't know, 12. I wouldn't have given a crap. I would have been like, I don't think I would have cared of like
where's
this would be like
Batman?
yeah, well, it would have been like I would have been like Fred Savage in Princess Bride. Like, is this a kissing book? Like, what are we talking about here? Like it's this girl and this plant making
Yeah,
out for every issue. But as I'm older, I'm like, oh, this is really interesting. I don't and like this is such an interesting way of telling this character. Um and like it's all in. Like they're not holding anything back. She loves Swamp Thing for
yes,
who he is and what he is, and vice versa. I mean, there's plenty of rips the whole time, like that how awful humans are, and Swamp Thing doesn't care. Um,
he loves Abby.
yeah,
He loves
it's
him.
really well done.
They don't play the my girlfriend is unhappy with me too often.
No, no, they don't do any of that kind of junk. Um, it's all
Or at
like
least they do, they resolve it.
it's yeah, it's all very earnest, but it's really well done. Like it's not saccharine in any way. It is just it's really well done.
Yeah, it'd be hard to be saccharine, considering all the sex that they're having.
No, I mean, but it could be like I think a lot of the times with this kind of storytelling, it's either going to be like or at least this kind of like character interaction. It's either going to be saccharine or it's going to be camp. Um, and it's not in either of those. Like it's
No,
taking it very seriously. Um, without like hitting you. It's the one time where Veitch is not hitting you over the head with stuff.
no.
He takes this part very very seriously, which I find really interesting, and I think it works really well.
And then we can get back to the Constantine stuff, and
Yep.
we have a revelation here. I know where this is going, but I had no idea at the time. And this does seem like WTF is going on here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it makes like reading it now. Like I was expecting at some point she was going to get pregnant, um, and
Mhm.
so like
How
it
does
is
that work, though?
who knows? Like I don't know. Um, we are certainly in the range of comics from 80s to 90s where like we shoot from the hip and answer it, we'll retcon it later. Like that's like um
You
so
know,
like
by this point, Rick Veitch had done the graphic birth scene in Miracle Man, so
yeah. Um so yeah, it's just that it makes sense in the course of the story that they're telling that this is what it's going to be. How is it actually going to work? Who knows? Hopefully they figure it out. Like I haven't gotten to it yet. I hope they figure out a way that's reasonable. I feel like
I
they
do.
I have enough faith that they will. But it's a great little like cliffhanger. And then when you flip the page, Veach is like, we're gonna change everything up. And
Yeah. Before we get to that page flip, I do want to note one thing here. Constantine has a gun on his hip,
no,
which is like,
yeah,
I don't think
has
he
he
looks
ever
very.
had a gun?
He does in this one. I know that seems weird to me.
He looks like a cross between Luke Skywalker and Han Solo. Like it's a weird image. Um,
Yeah,
I didn't notice that. I was,
I just noticed it now. So
yeah, yeah, I can't remember. I don't know of Constantine ever having a gun. Um,
He has one in the Family Man storyline,
okay,
and he doesn't want to use it.
but he has one for the shaman, who he's convinced is like pulling one over, like
No,
scamming him.
for cigarettes.
Yeah, is trying to scam him
Yes.
out for more cigarettes. Which is also just a great little. It's just like a throwaway joke in this thing that's going on. Like it's this great idea of like this holy man shaman is scamming me. Um,
I've always heard that the silk cuts that Constantine favors are just terrible.
it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also it fits so well with his personality too, of like his lack of faith and trust in people that he's going to think the holy man is just kind of conning him. Um,
Yeah.
but again, it like I said, it's a great little throwaway joke in like what other up to this point has been a pretty straightforward, like almost all these panels have been fairly straightforward in Constantine's arc. Like the kid had a little bit of a joke in it, but it was directed at Constantine. But otherwise, they've been pretty straightforward. Of like they're the plot progression, um, and
Yes.
and for him to just kind of throw that out there was pretty great. Like just
Yep.
he's got plenty of time to to be a dick to people.
Yes, he does. And he will.
Yeah,
And
but
then
yeah,
we can turn the page and get to the stuff we all wanted to talk about here.
yeah. This is oh my god. Like when I did this and like flipped this over and did this, like it was like hitting a brick wall. Like it was such a like I think of it as like um dropping down a couple gears, like downshifting, but you
Mhm.
downshift too much and the car like
Yeah.
lurches because it's so different. Um
Yeah.
and it took me a second to figure out how to read it, even though it is literally showing you the trail to follow.
It is.
Um
I
but
mean, it's like they dropped some James Joyce in here.
yeah,
What the hell is this?
it is so it is such a tonal shift. Um But, and this is what we do for the rest of the book. We're roughly halfway into the book, and this is what we're doing now.
Yes.
Um,
We're almost exactly halfway in. I
yeah.
think 12 of 23, so right in the middle.
And this is the part where I would think like there is not a writer in his right mind that would ever ask a penciler to do this. Because this is psychotic. Um, half the
I
book,
mean,
and it
if I was
changes.
gonna do it, I would at least sketch it out for the artist to give us an idea what I'm thinking about.
You would have to like it's the layout is different every page. Like the path is different every single page, and like some of them are wild, and
Yes.
like
Up
some of
into the
like
middle of the spread.
yeah, and some of them like the panels cross the seam, like, and you're
Yes.
just like, what is going on? Like this is breaking every rule of how you're supposed to lay out a page. And on top of it, you have to follow a totally like you have to follow a different route and you have to stick to the route. If you go off the route, you're going to get confused the hell out of yourself.
Yes,
It
you
is
have.
it's putting so much faith in your reader to number one not be mad, but to actually follow what you're doing. Um, and you'd already asked a lot for the first half. Like
Yes.
this is again where I can't imagine I could see an issue like this. You could do a whole issue like this or a whole issue like the first half. That makes some sense to me and I think is a pitch that would be relatively easy to make to an editor. Like I'm going to do the layout this way for the whole issue. I have this reason why I want to do it for this issue. There's plenty like the Hawkeye reboot did a really great one that was all from the perspective of the dog, of his dog, which was great.
Okay.
Like I can think of stuff like that where like you can do that on like a one-off issue and editors and pencilers and everybody will be fine with it because it's like, oh, we're going to do something a little fun, a little different, whatever.
Or do one page. It's like, we'll turn the book upside down for this page.
Yeah, exactly. Do something like that.
Sideways.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Spiral it. You have to spin it around to read it. Like that, I think is, not common, but like heard of and like considered,
You know,
we'll do this. That's not, it's not a crazy ask. To do both of them in the course of a single book is crazy. And that it works is even crazier. And like, again, I can't even imagine a writer scripting this out for a penciler. I can't imagine how you would do it.
no,
And
you couldn't script.
I
There's
yeah,
no way you can script.
I
You can
can't.
sketch it, maybe, but
No, and it's certainly
no.
not like you could do like the Stan Lee bullshit where you just write a paragraph of like it's gonna be this, and that's it, and then you're gonna move on to the next page. Like maybe you could do it that way, but like the Alan Moore and like Neil Gaiman style of like writing an actual script out, I don't know how you do this. And
No.
I don't really know how Veitch does his scripts. I mean, I'm assuming I get the feeling he writes out actual scripts. But like I don't know how you could do this if outside of the fact that he is doing the penciling as well as the writing. He
Yeah.
knows what this is. He knows how it's going to be, and he's doing it.
And the writing is important here too.
Yeah, and it works. It's really fascinating.
Because I mean, the repeating things where he just says what he's doing, not thinking about anything else other than here's my immediate actions, and
Yep.
this guy obviously hates his wife.
Yeah, I mean, you're introducing these two brand new characters, really this one brand new character.
Yeah.
Um, and like that's all you're following for the most part. Certainly the first two pages, you're just following him. And you get the gist that he's kind of a dick and self-centered. But
That
you don't
T-shirt he has on by itself tells you everything I need to
yeah,
know.
that's all you need to know. Like that is a great panel all on its own. Like that panel alone is doing a lot of heavy lifting in this. But even in still, like the fact he's doing, run, and then when his wife shows up, it's ignore. Like it's so dickish. It's really great. Um,
Wife slash sex. I like that.
yeah,
That
yeah, it's so yeah, it's just like you get this idea like this guy only gives a shit about himself. That's all he's focused on. Nothing else matters, and that's it. Um, but again, like this is such a tonal shift out of nowhere, and like when I first read this, I'm like, I don't know where we're going with this. This is so weird. Like I was just
oh,
so
it gets
yeah, I was so thrown by this tonal change and like stylistic change. I was like, I don't know what's happening right now. This is crazy. And then when you flip to the next page, um,
crazier.
it gets crazier and it has time for jokes.
Which brings up, I'm going to start reading two here
Yeah.
for our listeners at home. My car. No blubbering here. Supple leather smell, engine purring, sound system caressing. Step on the gas and wipe that tear away. Drive, drive, drive. Big day today. Drive, drive, drive. Have to pitch the rat night proposal to the board. Drive, drive, drive. They're gonna jump through hoops when they see it. Just hope the sample bag will be waiting in the office. Drive, drive, drive. Look out! Brake, swerve, gun it! Close call. Son of a bitch limos. Think they own the road. Well, someday that will be Alden Hollanday flaunting it in the back of one of those babies. Drive, drive, drive. Rat Night may just be the ticket. Drive, drive, drive. After all, I'm the one who got the Nuclear Regulatory Commission in our corner. Drive, drive, drive. And I made sure the EPA looked the other way. Drive, drive, drive. And I made damn sure the public was kept in the dark. Drive, drive, drive. Covered all the bases on this one. Drive, drive, drive. Even the general would have been proud of me. My exit. God rest his soul. I was reading it too, and I think it works even better with the visuals on it, which are crazy enough to go along with it.
Yeah.
The whole page is laid out, and I mean, I just love that. It ends on a big vertical panel showing the Sunderland Towers. So I'm like, you thought really hard about this, didn't you, Rick?
He did. Like, this is laid out so well. I mean, we find out they're basically in DC.
Yeah.
It's just I at this point I was like I was just kind of in a holy shit mode, like of I can't believe you're doing this and this is working. It's
I mean,
just so impressive.
yeah, the Wild Thing, Roy Raymond and Lipschitz again.
Yeah. It's so good. It's so good. This is such a show off moment. Like, this is big dick energy. I can't stress enough. Like, that you are pulling this off is just awesome. And like, to me, this is when it feels like, again, as I said at the start, this is when it feels like this is Rick Veitch's book now. Like, he is fully
Yeah.
taking control, and you are on his path, and he's going to chart you wherever the hell it's going, and you're just along for a ride.
Yeah. I like even the little instant panel that shows that he's doing 95 in this sort of traffic.
Yeah.
That's the kind of asshole we're dealing with.
Yep. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. And then we get to the next page, and it's all his office mates ripping on him. So like, now you find out they all hate his guts, which makes sense. Because he can't. You've already known he's this self-centered asshole. So the fact that like, and they're just waiting. I love the fact that like the whole joke is spun around to the joke surrounds the actual punchline panel. It's so great, and it's just joke after joke. Like, it's all like, you have an idea of like something's coming.
Everybody's snickering at him.
Yeah, everyone's snickering at him. They're all making little side comments. But again, like, it's such a great payoff. The delivery of it is so smart. And it's again where you're just like, oh my God, man, I can't believe you're doing this. This is so good. This is so good. And at the same point, I'm also like, I don't know why we're doing any of this. I'm just loving that we're doing it.
I do love that we see those kind of balls in the lobby of the Sunderland. We haven't seen those since
Yep.
issue 21. But I know Rick Veitch did all the background, so I'm glad that he brought them back. So straight out of the anatomy lesson, I like the little elevators that are in tall vertical panels.
Well, and I love that he's doing some of these that are like top down panels. Like, his walking through the office is all top down, pulling into the parking lot is top down. Like, he's changing perspective too. Like, on top of the fact he's doing all these other things, he's changing the perspective of the panels. Like what else can you think up, dude? Like, I don't know. Like, this is wild. It's just wild.
No, I agree.
Like, yeah, this to me is just like, this is showing off at this point. Like, you are full on showing off what you can do. And
This is the one that
God,
when you make your Hall of Fame case, you
yeah,
do this issue.
100%. God bless you, man. Like this is great stuff. Like there's no like I don't even know if I've ever seen top-down perspective a ton in comics. I've certainly seen it for like cars. I don't think I've seen it for like walking through an office. That's great. Oh,
Then we get to the splash page. It looks almost normal the next page.
yeah. But now is where you finally
It's
like understand why we've been following this guy. Um,
yes.
and it's done pretty well. Like I think it, you know, I like the idea of it. This is probably the most norm like after the last couple splash pages, this is the most normal in terms of plot and how we're doing it. Nothing crazy in terms of how it's being delivered. It's pretty straightforward. Like it's
Yes.
essentially
And
six panels per page, which is all pretty standard. Um and
and
so
the layout almost looks normal.
yeah. Yeah. I mean if you looked at it normally,
Like
you wouldn't
I was
realize
thinking it'd be solid
that
path, then you see it's not, but yes.
yeah, again, you're like traveling, it's a spiral down is what it is, which is again great because that's what's happening to this guy. Like he is spiraling down. You and on top of it, you are actually finally like as a reader, you are drilling down on like the importance of this character. Um
Mhm.
it's a great little touch.
Everything is everything is kind of all around him.
Yep,
Even into the close up. I mean, his first panel is framed with him. Everything closes in around him,
yep. It's so
and
smart.
we have Constantine coming in here to kind of light the match.
Yep, 100%. And then I love the idea.
And
I love the idea that he thinks he's a headhunter. I find like I would read John Constantine Corporate Headhunter. I would read the shit out of that book. Um because it would be so funny. But it's such a good joke. I can't stress enough how funny that is. Um because he's coming in his suit and his trench coat. Like I get it. He looks all serious and he's douche recognizes douche and, and like and he's very much like, oh yeah, of course this guy thinks I'm great. Of course this is what he wants. And then you know, it flips over to the next page where he decides he's gonna brag and negotiate for how awesome he is. And it immediately backfires. Um,
I do like that they figure out what his plan is here, which is like we're going to dispose of nuclear waste and fertilizer.
which is crazy. It's crazy. And it's the type of thing like
Of course, the Reagan administration approves it.
of course. And like on top of it, it's like honestly, I could see Monsanto doing that now. I could see it, but like this is 30 years ago, man. People still had some belief in the system. Like, like this is craziness. And it's actually like the it's so much exposition, but it all makes logical sense of like, yeah, knowing capitalism, this is what they would try and come up with. Um, and Constantine has all like we find out later, he's basically rigged his own lighter to blow up that he gives him for a cigarette. Um,
Yes.
and like it explodes. It light it lights the nuclear fertilizer on fire, and it basically torches the guy and melts him alive. Um, and then a great like panel of Constantine just looking over his ashes.
He delivers the one liner.
Yep, it's a great little corporate dig, which again, awesome. Like it's awesome. This is such a great way to end this, um, and makes perfect sense that this is the guy. And like at this point, as the reader, you're like, oh, this is the new host. Um, but you haven't quite figured out until he melts him that Constantine is hates this guy.
Yes.
Which then when we flip the page, we return back to the previous layout of like 1/4 of
Vertical
the
panels.
splash. Yeah, 3/4, 1/4, and Constantine straight out says like, "No way in hell would I ever let that guy be the host."
The
Uh,
template for an elemental power.
yeah, yeah, and throws him in the, in the incinerator.
Yeah.
Throws the sprout. And then we have Swamp Thing coming in with the other sprout to like find the host, goes and finds that he's incinerated it. I don't quite understand the potato chip joke. I'm sure there's something in there. Um, but then essentially finds that he's been incinerated. Um, and then he wanders into this cryogenic unit. Now this I don't quite get. Um,
It's a callback to the anatomy lesson.
okay. I knew it was a callback, but I was like, I don't quite know the reference.
Well,
Because they've certainly
Sunderland
talked
pulled
about.
something out of the cryogenic unit to show uh, Woodrue his remains. So
Okay,
basically, this is the mirror of that. Swamp Thing opened up the cryogenic unit to view Sunderland's remains.
got it. Um, and so at this point, you realize like John has essentially decided I'm not going to let this guy do it, so I'm going to purposefully ruin
Screw
this
up the plan.
attempt. Yeah, I'm going to purposely ruin.
Self-sabotage.
Yeah, I'm going to personally destroy this whole plan. So now we're 4 in of fails, and when we get to the page flip, and at this point, I mean, I don't even think Swamp Thing has quite figured out that John has done that, and then we get basically calling back to page 1. We are back
Yes.
to the plants.
It's symmetry.
Yep, and they are pissed because it's happened again. Um, and then it seems like they have summoned their own creature to now take out Swamp
And
Thing.
there's, yes. This will be our final reading of the issue. I'll insert here. In the valley, at the bottom of the green dimension, the wood knows. The situation on Earth is fast deteriorating. Soon it will be beyond any control. In blind desperation, the wood reaches back to its earliest progenitors, the pre-human, the pre-mammal. And the mind that haunts the foliage of the world slowly, carefully unlocks. In a rainforest glade near the mouth of the Tephi, something vaguely reptilian and smelling of antediluvian morass extracts its 200 million year old tendrils from the gumbo soil. Ignoring the envy of those left rooted, it lumbers, vicious and free, into the sodden haze. And I think the story continues. We're not getting any closer to a resolution, are we?
No. But like
But we're getting
that
an
is
explanation.
yeah, that issue is so fun. Like I haven't had that much fun on like a single issue of something in 8. I can't remember the last time I had that much fun reading. Certainly from like a mainstream comic. Um, because it's just pulling out all the stops. Um,
I
and
mean,
like
going right to the title.
yeah, and it's using its visuals to tell its story so well, which is what I like about comics. Like that's the biggest thing about it, and like I think the biggest complaint about mainstream comics is they too often rely on the standard cut and paste way of reading a book. So when you get something like this that is really going to challenge you, it is just so much fun. Um, and yeah, I can't speak highly enough about that issue. It is an absolute blast.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it's like I want more comics like this.
Yeah.
Give me more comics like this.
Yeah,
Right in the vein.
yeah, 100%. Like that is the strength of it. Like you can't really do that with books. You can't really do that with
No.
film. Like that is the strength of the comic medium, and too often they neuter themselves. And like Veitch is a guy that always wanted to push boundaries like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. Um
No. I think this is taking the right lessons from The Dark Knight Returns and
yeah.
Watchmen. How do you tell a story visually, make it interesting, and use the formal mechanisms to tell the story
Yeah.
to be something unique?
Yeah, that this is its own medium and you have to figure out how to use it to play to its strengths. And that is he does it the entire issue. Um yeah, it is like you said, I think like that would be the submission for your Hall of Fame ballot is that issue alone. Because it's incredible. Like and at the time it was being done, it had to I can't imagine how it had to have blown people's minds reading that. Um which is great. Like that's what you want a book to do. You want it to literally, have them caught off guard and just so engaged. Like I was so drawn in by the style and delivery. I was all in reading that book. Like of all the issues I've read so far, I blew through that one and went back and read it again because it was so fun. Um, and yeah, I'm running out of superlatives for it. Like it's just so it's fantastic.
It is. I'm glad I did not try to describe it very much in my notes here.
Yeah, I don't know if you really like the I think what I told you is like it's an unhinged family circus for like half of the episode. Like you're just racing around desperately trying to keep up with whatever the hell Veitch is trying to do. Um and it's
And he
great.
pulled it off, and
Yeah,
it kind of pulls it off.
he pulls it off so well. And like I said, like this is the fourth time doing essentially the same plot, and like to then knock it out of the park like that is just it's such a show off moment. And like I hope he was proud as hell when he turned that thing in because he should be. Like that thing is I don't know of many comic book writers that could pull off an issue like that. I don't know. And again, I think a lot of it has to do
No, I think
I
you
think
have to be a writer artist anyhow.
yeah, I think that is a large part of it is you have to be the writer artist. Um, and if you're not, like,
Or you
I don't
just
know,
give it an outline, you tell the artist to go crazy, and then you fill it in.
100%.
Those are the things you do.
Yeah, and like, yeah, I even then I don't know how. Like, I think you could give him a description of the panels, like you said, and then you could then move the panels however you want and fill in the writing afterwards. But like, God, that seems like a lot of work. Um, especially back then. Oh, like I can't even imagine. Like nowadays, you could do it, on your computer and just drag and drop wherever you need to do. But like, yeah, that is,
I mean, the artist has to give you a way so they can connect them up too. So,
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Is like the artist is drawing the boxes, the text boxes, and the balloons and all that kind of stuff. Um, so like again, I don't know how you do that if you are just the writer. That seems like a monumental task, and like it's already
and
a monumental task if you're the writer penciler. Um,
yeah,
doing it the
and
other way
you
is like
got to leave room for those words too.
yeah, it's just impressive. Like it's just one of those things where you're like you were cooking. Like good for you. Like this is I don't know what you took before you came up with this idea, but God bless him because this is great stuff.
I don't think we have too much more like that coming up. But, we have some more inventive layups coming up. I know that
Yeah.
because he's not done.
Yeah. I mean, and I wouldn't expect him to be. it's just the type of writer that he is. Like, again, I haven't read a ton of his stuff, because again, his stuff is not easy to find if you weren't buying it when it was
No,
being published. Um, Certainly some of it is, but like
some of it is. I mean, Brat Pack you can find.
Brat Pack you can, the one you can.
Well, Swamp Thing you can.
No, but
Rare
it's
feet, good luck.
but again, he's just this. There's just a feel to his stuff. Like, I mean, I told you before we started recording, like when I was deep into Vertigo, like Warren Ellis was my guy, and Veitch feels like like he feels like the proto Warren Ellis. Like that's kind of what it is. This sort of like madman that's just gonna throw things out there.
This
And
really
just
reminds me of his well, you can see how you get from this to his You Can't Get No graphic novel, which
yeah,
he did past 9/11, yeah.
yeah. And so there's just like a punk rock feel to what he's doing. Like he's just kind of like
There
he's
are no
not,
rules.
yeah, there's no reels and like everything's up for grabs.
I'm gonna blow your mind this issue.
Yep. And it's one of those things where just like go for it, man. I love it. Like I have a lot of faith in him. There's not a lot of writers that I would have a ton of faith in doing something like this. He is one I have a ton of faith in.
Hmm.
And yeah, I
Yeah, you can see why he got the job.
100%. It makes so much sense how he did. I also feel like again, it feels like he's finally making the comic his own, which feels like an impossible task after what more like it is
Alan
an
Moore. Yeah.
yeah, it is an impossible task. It it is something like, and for the first few issues, like it was fine. I enjoyed it. I like it. But like this is where it feels like I am now in control of this and I am no longer having to live in Moore's shadow. I This is now my book. Um
Hopefully you got used to the transition.
yeah, exactly. And so that's great. And like yeah, I it's one of those things where like, yeah, I don't know how you pulled it off, but you have pulled off an impossible task and you've done it with a flourish on top of it. Like
Yes.
you are a madman. Um and I guarantee Alan Moore read that and was laughing his ass off with glee at like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm so glad you did that. Like there's no way Alan, and like Moore is not a guy I think like cackles with glee a lot. But like there's no way he wouldn't have been like, hell yeah, man. Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if I have anything else to add. I don't have anything else to add, except next episode is Swamp Thing number 73 entitled The Fire Next Door. We have any thoughts based on the title? I mean, I know that the next door implies that things are getting closer to Swamp Things and Abby's doorstep, but
Yeah, I mean I it feel like I don't know how much longer you can stretch out this storyline. Um so it feels like, I mean, to me, I would have an general assumption that the next issue is like the penultimate issue of the storyline, where we're gonna just set all the chess pieces up for the big final battle, or whatever the resolution will be. Um, so whether that is Swamp Thing turning on John or who knows what, like something's about to happen. I would expect the next issue to be fairly action packed. Um, so which to date would be very strange for Swamp Thing. Like that's most of these books are not, they're more literate than actiony. Um, but it that's just how it feels. Like I don't know. You've done the same thing 4 times. Everyone's mad. Now is when you bring everybody together to sort it out. Is my general assumption.
Well, we will find out.
Yeah.
I haven't read the issue in, 37 years, 38 years, so I know
Yeah.
where things are headed in a general sense, but
Yeah.
yeah, well, you'll join us next month for that. In the meantime, our listeners can subscribe to Swamp Things on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, and wherever else you can find podcasts. Please feel free to like or share the link wherever you see it. And also, you can follow Swamp Things on Twitter/X at Swamp Things Pod. And feel free to send an email to swampthingspod@gmail.com. And if you like what you hear, please leave us a review or rating on Apple Podcasts. I hear it helps. Thank you, Matt. You've been a pleasure to have on. Looking forward to talking more about this run with you.
Yeah. This was great. I can't wait to do more.
Okay. And so thanks for listening. We'll be back soon.
Much beauty in the swamp, if you only look.